remember when David Ryan was here? He and Victoria said the way to get to go to any conference is you get in touch with them and you tell them I'll do this, I'll tweet about it, that kind of stuff.
The promotion side, yeah.
Exactly. So that's how, that's pretty much how we got there, me and Prahlad. We both got there for the whole conference. It's like $5,000.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. And so you got there for free because you were doing promotion of said conference.
And we did our Magic Craft workshop there.
Oh, okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah, which was attended by Scott Hanselman. He came with his family, his 2 kids.
Oh, cool. So he would have been like, hey, look what this guy's doing, showing kids how to code using Minecraft to his kids. Yeah? Or I'm not sure who he is, sorry.
You don't know who Scott Hanselman is? Okay, Google him up.
Yep, okay.
So yeah, it was really what David and Victoria said about getting to conferences, volunteering, figuring out some way to add value to them. Otherwise, people will just pay some money and go along, and that's necessary too, right? Because they've got to pay for the costs and everything. But then there's other things like promotion, mainly promotion, right? Promoting it. So I wrote an article about the NDC conference a few months back on LinkedIn. So when it came time for this kind of conversation, I just pointed them back to that and said, hey, check this out. I'm like, okay, guys.
So you were plotting a month before for the Free Introduced conference?
Well, no, I was just like authentically excited about it and, see the value in it.
Yeah, right.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah. Done a lot of.
He's massive. He's the Microsoft Azure program manager right now.
Oh, wow.
He's also the host of the Hansel Minutes podcast.
Yeah, I think I saw something about that when I was on the main page. So he's pretty much got his finger in everything from what I just saw.
Yeah, big Microsoft guy.
Where does he work? What country?
United States. He's American. He was the keynote speaker.
Okay, I'm going to need a lot more time to read that. So.
And he did the keynote speech for the kids because there was a coding for kids workshop on the Tuesday night. So we did a Magic Craft workshop there, and he was the keynote speaker.
Okay.
So I'm standing at the registration desk, and I say to Charlotte, who's there, I say, hey, where's the keynote happening? She's like, it's upstairs, but it's not happening right now because Scott's still talking to someone over there. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, oh, that's Scott Hanselman. She's like, yeah. I'm like, great. So I roll over to him, and I say, hey, you Scott Hanselman? He says, yes. I say, hi, I'm Josh Wulf. You're a type 1 diabetic, aren't you? And he says, yes. I say, well, my son is too. I really want him to meet you. This is my son, Prahlad. He turns around and looks at Prahlad, and he goes, oh, you look like... First of all, he says, oh, you're a diabetic, and he says, I am too. How long have you been diabetic for? Prahlad says, since I was 8. And then he says, oh, you look like my boys. And he pulls out his phone and shows us a picture of his 2 kids, right? His wife is from Zimbabwe. She's African. So their 2 kids look like Prahlad, because my wife's African-American.
Oh, okay.
So Prahlad's kind of halfway in between. His kids are too, right? And he's like, oh, you going to the kids' coding workshop tonight? He said, oh, my boys would love to play with you. It would be great. You're going to the coding workshop tonight. He's like, yep. And he goes, oh, yeah, my kids are going too. And I'm like, they're going to the Minecraft one? Mm. And he's like, oh, no, they're going to Touch Develop. Is there a Minecraft one? I'm like, yep.
Nice.
He's like, oh, I didn't know about that. Is it? I wonder if it's too late to change. I'm like, no, I'm sure we could make it work.
People?
No, not you, big Microsoft man. I don't want you with my thing.
Yeah, look, I would take anyone anyway, right?
Of course.
But yeah, it was great. So then he came and brought us 2 kids. They loved it. He loved it too.
I did have a lot of fun playing around with that Magic Craft stuff. Yeah, it's a really great way of introducing code to kids. Like, I can't wait till my son can read properly. And I've still got all that stuff on my computer for it there. I'm going to slowly get it into it.
So we got, since the NDC thing, we've rewritten the whole thing. It's a completely new scenario. Everything's new.
Oh, wow, cool. So you don't start off in that initial castle and all that sort of stuff?
It's a completely new level, whole thing. It's got an embedded story.
Oh, cool.
The UX has changed. Yeah, it's all discoverable. The spellbook is completely different.
We're not sure why that keeps going off. It has been going off for about the last 15-20 minutes, and it's slowly doing our heads in. The constant flashing.
So that was the beginning. So then we did our thing, and it all worked perfectly because we'd bought this new machine. Because the money that I got from doing the Ascot State School pilot program, I took that money and used it to buy a couple of different machines to experiment with. And so I bought this one. It's It's a diskless, fanless machine with like 16 gigs of RAM in it, and it's about this big.
Ooh, tiny.
Yeah, and we just stood that thing up, and the kids played on it for like 2.5 hours, no issues at all. It was
Oh,
great.
cool. Because, yeah, you were having quite a bit of trouble with it, with the server.
70 people were massive server meltdown.
Yeah.
It was epic.
The duct tape special.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah. So we've gone through 2 iterations now, and the latest one that we ran at Ascot the other day is a $150 Intel compute stick that's about as big as a USB drive.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It did struggle a bit at the very end, the last 15 minutes when the kids went to the space station. There's a space station.
I need to go back and look at that.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
It is. It's sick. The Asgard space station.
As in Asgard, Marvel, Asgard. Oh,
Well,
that's...
as in Viking Asgard.
That's
yeah.
sorry.
Originally.
Yeah, originally. Okay, I'll give you that. But yeah, that's cool. That's so cool.
Yeah. So that was the beginning of the weekend, or the week. And then I was like, hey, can I get a pass for the rest of the conference? Because we'd like to check out some stuff. And then they were like, sure. They gave me a partner pass for it. And then Prahlad just rolled up with his code club, because he got a code club pass for that night. And he just like rolled around with that for the whole week, right? Nobody said anything. There was no one really checking the doors or anything like that. It was all pretty kind of casual and relaxed. And I got a whole ton of t-shirts. I got a year's worth of t-shirts from the place. A bunch of different stickers for my laptop. And that's how I got the Intel Compute Stick, because there was, so, you know, in that article there I mentioned that everybody's talking about microservices, right, except for this one company, Particular Software. They got the sticker that says, avoid microservices. Yes, really. And it's like got like ants or something, like someone squashing ants.
Oh, okay.
So obviously they're metaphor microservices are like ants, they're a pest, you gotta kill them.
Oh, okay. Why are they opposed?
I don't know, I didn't really get into that whole thing, but yeah. So they have like a this in-service bus. It's like a bus architecture. So they have this technology demonstration of it, which is like a Twitter leaderboard. And so it just ingests Twitter feeds and then streams them to these Intel Compute Sticks that are plugged into monitors everywhere and give you this rotating leaderboard. Most mentions, you know, most tweets, most retweets, like that. So that's where I saw the Intel Compute Stick, and I was like, that thing's pretty cool. They showed me the specs. It's got 2 gigs. It's got a quad-core Atom CPU in it. So when I came back, I got one
All
to
that in the
test.
size of a USB stick.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
yeah. It's got a little tiny little fan in it too.
Oh, wow. That's crazy how they can cram all that into just that tiny little space. That's actually good with that.
Yeah, Intel Compute Stick. It's called. It's $135 from UMart.
I have a brother-in-law that works at UMart, so I'll probably get it even
Really?
cheaper.
Okay, good to know.
Noted.
Yeah. Filed. Yeah.
That will be definitely remembered later on.
And so then what happened was Magicraft was in like the top 3 of retweets.
Oh, that's
Because
cool.
Scott Hanselman tweeted out that it was amazing, and he's got 170 followers.
Yeah, and so they,
Sorry, 170,000 followers. 170K.
so everyone's like, oh, okay, well, he's tweeted something.
Jump on it, retweet, like, you know?
That's cool. That's a
So-
lot of exposure right there.
Yeah, and then everybody in the conference was looking at it. So the next day I'm tweeting out, you know, I'm like crazy on the Twitters. Anyway, there's this guy there called Maligi. So but as I'm booking my tickets, right, I'm just kind of looking at the Twitters and stuff. And then I see this guy tweets out, like, any speakers at NDC who can speak at NG Sydney, which is the Sydney Angular meetup on Thursday night. I'm like, yo, I can do it, man. I'm coming down. I can talk about JavaScript and Minecraft.
Yep.
And I'm just booking my tickets, let me know. So he's like, that's great, yep, it'll be awesome to have you. I'm like, fantastic. So I changed my tickets to fly back on Friday. Book my ticket, right? So Maligi's there, I meet him. He's a Redify consultant. He runs the meetup group, and he's just a tweeting monster. He's like tweeting 3 to 1 of my tweets.
Oh,
like,
wow.
he's number 1, then there's me, then there's me, a third of his tweets, and then there's the next guy, like
Manually
10.
tweeting, is he?
Yeah. So then I'm like, this is crazy, man. I'm like, okay, I gotta get up on this leaderboard. I'm at number 2, right? But I'm like way orders of magnitude beneath him. But then the third and everyone else down there is like not even close to either of us. I'm going to take this guy. So I ring Sala. I'm like, hey, Sala, can you log into my Twitter account and start tweeting? Give me a hand here. So with both of us tweeting from the account, me and Sala, we still didn't manage to catch him up. Anyway, Prahlad's down at number like 6, right? And then he's like neck and neck with David Cook, who's a Redify consultant from Brisbane. Then Prahlad tweets out and beats David Cook. He takes a photo, screenshot, of himself overtaking, because when someone overtakes someone else, they go red and he goes green and shows it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he takes a screenshot of it and then he tweets out, "Get on my level at David Cook."
I think I saw that. Hang on. I think I actually saw that. That's ridiculous on Twitter. Because I do browse Twitter. I don't. There's something wrong with the phone.
So then Prahlad's looking at the board and he's like, okay. So he opens another account called @NDC Leaderboard, and then we're walking back we're walking over to the JDP office. We're taking a break from the conference, and he's just on his phone. He's retweeting everything that the number one guy tweeted.
To boost up his tweet.
Yep, strategy. Yeah, he does that. He gets banned by Twitter. He's tweeted like 300 tweets in an hour.
Yeah.
Oh, so did he know he's going to get banned? That's why he opened a new account.
No. And he was just like...
Just wanted to beat him.
Yep. Anyway, so he gets up to number 1, and then Twitter releases the ban on him. And then what he does is he tweets a little bit of his own content, a few other people, and then just rigorously retweets every time Maligi tweets. So it becomes impossible for Maligi to overtake him again, right?
Just constantly.
So he overtakes Maligi and becomes number 1.
Oh, wow.
Then we're at the conference, he was like, @NDC Leaderboard, number 1. He's like, lol. He's like, who's that? Who's @NDC Leaderboard? And then he gets banned off the leaderboard. So we go over to the end service bus thing. That's when I talked to him about the compute stack.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're talking about other stuff, and then I'm like, oh, what happened to @NDC Leaderboard? And they're like, oh, it was a bot, so we banned it.
It was a bot.
It was a boss.
Well, there was a moment there actually where Maligi's like, what are you using? What script are you using to retweet this stuff? And so Prahlad writes, I use thumb.exe, thumb.js. And he's like, sometimes I use thumb.js. It's a script I wrote myself in Python script. And then he's like, hey, have you tried? He's like, have you tried Java++? To come up with all this kind of stuff. And so then they banned it. So then we go to the end service bus guys, and then we tell them, I said, actually, he's @NDC Leaderboard. And they're like, oh, really? So they're like, okay, let's put it back on. So they put it back on the leaderboard again. So then it's Thursday night, right? We go to the Angular meetup. And so it's Bassarat is speaking, and he's the author of TypeScript Deep Dive and ALM.tools, which is like an online TypeScript IDE editor. So we go to his talk in the evening.
What was his name again, sorry?
Bassarat. Basarat. That's him.
That one? Yeah.
Yep, that's him.
Cool.
Yeah, go to his, on his GitHub has got his TypeScript Deep Dive book in it.
Okay.
Really cool guy. So he speaks, and then after he speaks, Maligi goes, would the youngest attendee of the meetup please come to the front? And that's Prahlad, right? Prahlad's sitting underneath a desk there doing something on his computer. So anyway, Prahlad goes up the front, and then Maligi's introducing him, and he goes, he's the youngest attendee, and he does Magicraft thing, and he's also, on Twitter, and there was a kind of a thing, he was trying to beat me on Twitter, because Prahlad's at number 6 with 67, and Maligi's like at 300 something, right? But NDC Leaderboard's at like 320. And he goes, he tried to beat me on Twitter, but, of course he couldn't. And I go, actually, he's at NDC Leaderboard. So it was the big reveal,
Nice.
So it was